Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are listening to the most electrifying podcast in all of internet radio today. You are listening to the Sports Wire. My name is Vinny Apicella, as always, and I want to thank you for listening or downloading, no matter what podcast platform you do choose to use, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, CastBox, Overcast, Deezer, wherever you decide to listen. And I want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you for just being able to tune in and listen wherever you want to. Again, my name is Vinny Apicella, and today is Tuesday, the 19th of November, 2019, and it's been a big day. I did happen to catch the end of Monday Night Raw tonight, which is, like it normally happens when we're going into a big pay-per-view, like Survivor Series, where it's teams of 5 strive to survive. It turned into a Donnybrook between Raw and SmackDown and NXT. I do once Survivor Series is over, I do see things cooling down a little bit between all the inter-branded people showing up on different shows, and we'll keep the Raw roster exclusive to Raw, SmackDown exclusive to SmackDown, and so on and so forth. Because I have a feeling the Fox and USA are not really cool about people showing up on different brands. But, because especially with the wild card rule out now, and Fox specifically wanted, a specific roster, separate brands. But you know what? I have to say, we found out who's going to be on Team Raw. We found out who's going to be on Team SmackDown. The other question I have is, are they doing the 5 tag team match? They haven't announced anything. I mean, I don't even know if there's, 15 tag teams that they could actually do that with. I mean, for Raw, other than the Viking Raiders who are in the triple threat tag team match, you've got the Street Profits on Raw. I mean, I guess you technically have the Ascension on Raw. Who knows where they've been? You've got the OC, Gallows and Anderson. You've got the Usos, again, who knows where they've been on Raw. Let's see. Who else would you probably have? Let's see. And then on SmackDown, you've got Heavy Machinery. You've got Ziggler and Rude. You've got... they're running on tag teams. So I don't know if they're necessarily going to do that. But what I want to focus on today, and what I've really been thinking about, is the fact that they haven't even announced the 5 members of the NXT Survivor Series team. I'm sure we'll get those 5 members this Saturday, or I'm sorry, this Wednesday on NXT. But, you got to think about it. The NXT guys are going to be putting in a lot of work this weekend. And, who's Adam Cole? Is Adam Cole going to be part of the, 5-on-5 Survivor Series team? Or are they going to have, an NXT title match at Survivor Series? Because you've got, War Games the night before, in which all 4 members of the Undisputed Era are part of War Games, and we still got to find out the 4th member of Team Ciampa. Is it going to be Isaiah Swerve Scott? Is it because there's going to be a triple threat match on Takeover with Killian Dane against Pete Dunne against Damian Priest, who I think that's going to be a fantastic match. I'm really big on Damian Priest. I like his character. I actually just listened to an interview this morning that X-Pac did with him on his podcast. So I like him, and I like what I'm seeing out of Pete Dunne and Killian Dane after being repackaged, after Sanity broke up. He's doing pretty well as well. Will there be any other NXT UK people involved? Obviously, we know the women's champion, Kaylee Ray, I think it's Kaylee Ray, is involved in War Games on TakeOver. Will she be involved in the Survivor Series match? Who are the 5? We don't even know the 5 women for NXT. So we don't know a lot going into the Survivor Series for the NXT teams. We know that Shayna Baszler, Bayley, and Becky Lynch are going to be in a triple threat women's champion match. We know that the Undisputed Era of Fish and O'Reilly are going to represent the NXT tag champion in the tag champion triple threat. We know Roderick Strong is going to be in the triple threat as the North American champion against the U.S. champion AJ Styles and the Intercontinental champion Shinsuke Nakamura. But we don't know, are there 5 tag teams in NXT? You know, who do you have as tag teams in NXT other than Fish and O'Reilly at this point? You know, you've got Keith Lee and Matt Riddle who are, semi together, Limitless Bros or whatever they're calling themselves. But again, Keith Lee is in War Games the night before, along with Dominic Dijakovic and Tommaso Ciampa. Johnny Gargano is out, so Matt Riddle is taking on Finn Balor. You know, we don't know right now who NXT is putting out there for the, traditional 5-on-5 now Survivor Series teams for the men or the women. So it remains to be seen. And somebody pointed out, I think it was Matt Kuhn on one of his Total Engagement podcasts, pointed out that when the Survivor Series comes around, they do the Raw versus SmackDown, and now adding NXT in there. He doesn't like how they throw the rivalries out the window when when it comes to people people who are infused with each other, and then all of a sudden they're on the same team. Well, think about it this way, okay? It's about brands. It's about your brand loyalty. I kind of liken it to the Olympics, okay? Because think about it this way, all right? When you have the Olympics, and I'm going to go back quite a ways, okay, to the 1992 Olympics, where that was the first time they really named the men's USA basketball team the Dream Team, okay, where you had guys on there like Shaquille O'Neal and Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan, and all this. It was an all-star NBA team, okay, and they, even though throughout the season in the NBA they're on different teams, but they gelled together as a team to take on the world in all actuality. So that's kind of like the same thing for Survivor Series. Like, of course, it kind of throws monkey wrenches into things when it's like, okay, we know that Shayna Baszler and Rhea Ripley are in a feud right now over the women's title, but on SmackDown they're standing in the same ring and in solidarity. So I get it, and I understand that. It's kind of, it's the same thing with Nikki Cross and Bayley, on SmackDown, or whoever. Becky Lynch doesn't necessarily have a challenger right now for the Raw Women's Championship. But at the same time, it's like they're putting their feud. Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin, for example. Okay, they're in a huge feud, but yet they're putting their rivalry on hold to team up for the sake of the SmackDown brand for Survivor Series. So I like it. I do. I really do. I like it because it also adds that extra monkey wrench into things. It also adds that extra. Will they be able to coexist? Will they? Is someone going to turn on the other? Is one of them going to cost the other the match or to be eliminated? Because if let's say Baron Corbin does something to get Roman Reigns eliminated, well, SmackDown's now down a guy, so he kind of screws his own team. So it is what it is. Or if somebody walks out, and we kind of saw that. I remember quite a few years ago, and this is when the Nexus had first come together, right after that first season of NXT, the original concept of NXT, and the Nexus came around. They had like a 14-man, 7-on-7 elimination match on Raw, where it took, the WWE top superstars against the Nexus, and, it was heels and baby faces. Cena, Orton, Jericho, Edge. I think Bret Hart was involved too, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe that was at a different time. But either way, it was 7-on-7, and Edge and Jericho, both being heels, they just walked out on the team. They tagged in and got themselves counted out to be eliminated. So it was like, well, wait a minute, hang on now, and I'm dying to see how it's going to work and how people are going to coexist storyline wise. And if they're going to do a 10-on-10-on-10, which will be insane, tag team Survivor Series match, because I would love to see that, just to kind of give guys like the Street Profits the spotlight, maybe bring the Ascension back. You actually have Breezango down in NXT. Who are going to be the five? There's so many unanswered questions. And Survivor Series is this coming Sunday on pay-per-view. And the night before is NXT TakeOver War Games. So there's going to be a lot going on in Chicago this weekend. Friday night, SmackDown is in Chicago. And then TakeOver's in Chicago on Saturday. And then Survivor Series is in Chicago on Sunday. And then Monday Night Raw is in Chicago on Monday. So Chicago is going to be bracing. Will CM Punk be a factor? So this is also the first year they're not putting the world champions in a match against each other. And I think it's because of who the champions are. We know Brock would have probably, been okay if Seth Rollins was still the Universal Champion. It would have, it would have been Brock and Seth Rollins, which, again, could have gotten kind of boring because we've seen it already. But he would have been working with a smaller guy. But now Brock is defending the title against Rey Mysterio, and I wouldn't mind seeing Rey Mysterio get another run with the world title. I know I've been kind of, doubting the whole small guy, but Rey Mysterio kind of breaks all the molds when it comes to that. You can't compare a Marco Stunt to a Rey Mysterio. I know a lot of people are, but you can't. It's just ridiculous to do that. And then you've also got, the Fiend defending against Daniel Bryan. His defending the Universal title against Daniel Bryan. They're not going to have Daniel Bryan beat The Fiend. Absolutely not. The Fiend is just too untouchable. And honestly, The Fiend doesn't need the title. I really don't know why they gave him the championship. They kind of backed themselves in the corner. They should never set him up for Hell in a Cell against Seth Rollins. So that whole booking from September on, or even August on, was ridiculous. When they first said, oh, well, The Fiend is going to face the winner of Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman at Hell in a Cell, they should have never done that. Absolutely not. They could have had Seth and Braun fight at Clash of the Champions, and then, something happens and Seth keeps the title, but then they could have done Seth and Braun in Hell in a Cell, and that would have been a great match. You know what I mean? Put that match in Hell in a Cell. And then just keep The Fiend away from the title. Keep the gimmick alive for him. The gimmick doesn't need the title. But whatever the case is, I'm not the booker. Let's see. Will Adam Cole defend the NXT Championship at Survivor Series? We don't know. We haven't heard. And if so, who will it be against? Will we see, Adam Cole defend against Matt Riddle? Will we see Adam Cole defend against Dominic Dijakovic or Tommaso Ciampa? Maybe War Games spills out and Ciampa's team wins, and then Ciampa's like, let's go tomorrow night at Survivor Series. And that's if neither one of them are in the hospital. I remember Arnie Anderson back when WCW was doing the War Games, during one of the great promos leading up to the 1996 War Games, was the original, the first NWO versus WCW, where it was Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, Lex Luger, and Sting against Hogan, Hall, Nash, and Sting. Well, NWO Sting. And Arn Anderson said, I've already reserved myself a hospital bed for tonight. And that's, the kind of mentality that it is. And, Arn Anderson is one of the greats. So we'll see how Survivor Series shapes up going into this Sunday. And we'll see on Wednesday night's NXT how that's going to happen, how it's going to go down. I think I might, one of these nights, incorporate book review, possibly one night a week. I've been reading a lot of, actually, the J.D. Robb In-Depth series lately, but I've read a ton of books when it comes to the Alex Cross series, the Women's Murder Club series, the Michael Bennett series. I'm getting into the NYPD Red series from all of those are from James Patterson. And then I've been reading the J.D. Robb In-Depth series in order now. I've read a lot of the books, but just not in order, so now I'm going in order. So maybe we'll start with a book review and, kind of go from there. We'll try to branch out the Sports Wire a little bit into even more. And for those of you that listen every night, I really haven't gone much into politics lately. So, and part of that is because I don't feel like getting involved in a lot of it anymore. I have my personal beliefs, and everybody else does too, so we're going to keep it like that. I'm trying not to be Jim Cornette. All right, so that's it for now. Have a good day, folks. Again, you can listen to the Sports Wire on any of your favorite podcast platforms. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at @theApicella_SWE. You can also go ahead and follow SportsWire on Twitter and Instagram at SportsWire Audio. Go ahead and donate to my No Shave November cause, no-shave.org/member/VinnyA81. And you can go ahead and you can also go ahead and get to that link on our anchor.fm page by going to www.sportswireaudio.com. Again, my name is Vinny Apicella. I will see you. Hopefully I'll be able to record tomorrow if I remember, because tomorrow's a day off. So we'll see if I'm going to record on Tuesday and Wednesday. Or I'm sorry, Wednesday and Thursday. But we'll see. Have a great day, everybody. And see you next time on the Sports Wire.